listening to The Real Fan Review with Hav, Sanj, Al, and B.
What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from The Real Fan Review. Today with me, we got my brother, your brother, B.
Zdravo.
What
That's
was
Croatian.
That? Croatian today. Okay. And then we got your man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah, man, we're doing all right out here. So let's get going right into the news. We got a couple things we're going to talk about today regarding Tenet, how much money it made, Mulan coming out this week, how much money it made. We got Keanu Reeves' birthday, one of our favorite actors of all time there. We got Yoda in the High Republic, and coronavirus hits one of our favorites, man. So we'll talk about that today. And then also we'll get into some thoughts about September movies, seeing which ones the fellas are going to watch. And we'll call this episode My Buddy, because I want to know some of their favorite buddy movies. So let's get right into the news first. First thing we'll talk about today is, man, one of our favorite actors. His birthday was September 2nd, Keanu Reeves. Oh, man, what a great actor, great person. Donates a lot of his money to charities. Does a lot of good stuff, man. He created one of Al's favorite movies of all time, Matrix.
Yep.
So let me just ask the fellas really quick, man, if you could name like a moment or a movie, what's your favorite Keanu Reeves thing? Brandon.
I know Kung Fu.
That's your moment right there.
That's it.
Mine's going to be...
I need guns.
Mine's going to be Duke Kaboom from Toy Story 4. You couldn't tell me anything. That's Keanu Reeves. That's not Kaboom. That's Keanu Reeves. So, oh my God. Al, what's your favorite Keanu Reeves moment or movie?
It's just waiting for him to somehow incorporate "whoa" into every movie he does.
He's done it in every movie so far?
There's always some scene.
Basically,
So
there's always
far,
a reason why.
Yeah, there's always some reason where he goes, "Whoa."
Excellent.
Yeah. And it must have started from there, because I know he said "whoa" in that movie too, the first Bill and Ted. I just saw that recently. But now that I think about it, yeah, he does say "whoa" in Toy Story 4 also. So that's hilarious, man. No, but let's get right into the news, the real news there. Man, we're trying to help out Tenet. We're trying to help out Mulan in this pandemic, man, and it's just not happening, man. Al just gave me the numbers here. It said Tenet made $20 million domestically, and Mulan $6 million. Oh my God, that's terrible, man. That's not a good sign for the movies. Al, please tell me your thoughts on Tenet making $20 million this weekend.
It's making me wonder if Universal was right, and that's why these movie theaters are scared. Because what would those numbers have been if they had just said, "Okay, put it straight to VOD"? You know,
Right.
But by insisting on a movie theater release, so you can get a bigger cut of ticket sales. Now you get a bigger cut of what altogether 170 million. You know, what would they have made? Maybe if they just put that out globally on VOD, could they have made? You know, they may not have made 170 million, but you would have gotten a bigger cut of whatever you did make, just like with Trolls World Tour. They didn't need as much ticket sales to realize a much greater profitability. So it's making me scared for movie theaters, really. You know, until they can clear up everything with this pandemic and make it safe to go into theaters again, it's making me very scared for what the future of theater going might be like.
Yeah, man. I mean, just hearing those numbers just makes me think that they either got to rethink the way that they're putting out these movies, or we're about to get into a whole bunch of like movies about to be put on hold. I don't think with 120 million we're going to see Wonder Woman or Black Widow next week or next month. You know what I mean? We're not going to see these movies until maybe 2021, when things have definitely gotten better, because a movie like Tenet should have made easily like $300 million.
Oh, forget it. Yeah.
You know, first weekend. You know what I mean? Especially with Nolan and his fan base and everything. I honestly think they should have put the people who can't go to the movies should have had an option for video on demand. But I can also understand why they wanted people to see this movie in theaters. Brandon, what's your take with Tenet making only 20 million domestically and 150, worldwide?
I mean, I agree wholeheartedly with Al there. You know, it's scary to see what the future of the movies is going to be when the numbers aren't promising. You know, AMC in New York alone, we're with AMC right now because we have the movie passes.
Right.
But like, if they don't make money to be sufficient enough to open in New York State, they can't open in New York State. So if ticket sales aren't doing well, the outlets are looking like, well, what's been success? Where has our success been? It's going to be VOD.
Right.
So then you're like, exactly like you said, movies that like Tenet, where it could have easily made 300 million without coronavirus, made 20 million domestic. And that's only because the movie theaters are only open in so many states right now. This movie and the actors that starred in it, they're not going to be making a lot of money. And I know when we talk about actors, actors are making millions of dollars, but think about how much they're going to want to make a movie if they're not going to get paid to make the movie. So
right.
I think people are going to start rethinking these tools and how they release movies in the United States alone. I mean, we know domestically, coronavirus has done a little bit better in certain countries, but even those countries are now starting to see a resurgence in the coronavirus and those numbers going up. So now, are the movie theaters going to close again in those countries? So now you're looking at this global movie theater non-success rate that's going to probably happening soon, and it's looking like VOD is going to be the way to go. But are these movie studios going to want to do that? Like Universal, are they going to want to do that going forward? With Fast 9 potentially next year, are they going to want to come out on VOD?
Right.
Exactly. Is Wonder Woman, Warner Brothers and Wonder Woman, is that going to really want to come out? Disney and Black Widow, just like you said, is that going to want to come out in the theaters when they know they're not going to get a return on it?
Yeah, I doubt it, man. And then also, like in the opposite end of that, we also had Disney trying out Mulan there with the premiere access there for $30 extra on top of whatever you pay your monthly bill for the Disney Plus there. Al just gave me the numbers on that, saying $6 million made, and that's, that's going all towards Disney right there. But at the same time, is that enough for a movie that probably would have made, again, another movie that would have made 300 million or so? And with the reviews not coming in that great, are people willing to pay $30 for a movie that they get access to for, I think it was for about a week now, or actually,
I think it just gives them the early access. So that's it. They got they had the movie on Disney Plus, it's a good proposition if you lowered that price. That's where I think they hurt themselves, was doing $30.
Yeah.
Because you can't justify it. When you pay for the service, you can't justify the $30 charge. Like, I get it, I'm renting it, but I'm renting it for that one viewing of the movie. And I understand that that's kind of basically what the ticket costs for me to watch it with my kids, kind of a thing. And I understand that. But if I'm sitting here in my house, I may pause the video. I may come back to it. You have all these different things happening now because you're at home. $30 to rent the movie, whereas people are pirating this thing for free. And I'm not supporting pirating, but you're telling people to find another method to watch it for free instead of paying $30 when they pay for the $7.99 for the service. And then when you think comparatively to Trolls World Tour, which reviewed horribly, it was reviewed horrendously.
But them kids,
VOD, kids loved it, and it was out on VOD for everyone to do. They didn't have to pay a surcharge to have a service. They just had to pay for the rental of it, which was $20, right? And then, so even though it was $30 for Mulan, they didn't have to pay for a service they already had.
Right.
And then it just, Trolls came in at way more than 6 million on its opening weekend.
I forget it, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a movie that didn't do well. And it was something that was really great with the kids and something to watch because there was nothing else to watch. So now we're still in a time where in certain states like New York over here, there's still nothing else to watch. This would have been a prime way for Disney to put out their movie just to put it out. And I'm sure they would have gotten a ton of more subscriptions and a ton of more watches on it.
Yeah, man. And I think this just completely takes away that chatter about Black Widow coming out on Disney Plus. They're just gonna wait it out now.
Unless they put it out there just to put it out there, there's no way they're gonna put a premium on it when it wasn't successful.
Yeah, man. So that's
I think they have more success in the NBA right now than they did with Mulan.
Unless what I can see them maybe doing is, I don't know if there's another movie with less expectation and less hype that's still like in the queue. that they can try a different price point with. And if you're going to try it with, the movies maybe that they weren't expecting a killing with, and say, all right, let's try $30. All right, that didn't work. All right, put this movie out, try $25, or something like that until they find that sweet spot. And then they go, okay, look, this was the projection we have for this movie, and it actually reached at this price point. That seems to be the good price.
I wouldn't put it at $12.99.
Now let's try it. And see, and I think that goes to your point. Like, I think there's a mental, expectation with people if they're going to watch it at home. To make the equivalency of saying, well, you would have paid this much at the theater. Yeah, but I would have had the experience of going to the theater
with the surround sound and all that stuff.
Yeah. If I'm sitting in my sofa, it significantly lowers the value that I'm willing to
looking
pay
at my 42-inch TV, like.
Yeah. I mean, even if you got a nice size screen and you got a surround sound and everything, it's not the same. It's the same experience you've had with everything else you've been watching. There's nothing special about it to warrant $30. Maybe $5, $10, even if it's a great movie or a movie you've really been looking forward to, maybe you'll do the 20, but $30 now you've really pushed it. And it's the same experience that I had earlier watching a TV show. It's the same.
Goes out. I ain't got it.
Yeah. So I think it's mentally some people, people aren't going to be paying that much when there's no, it's the same movie that if they just wait a couple more weeks, you're telling me I'm going to see it anyway. So
exactly.
I'll just wait. Whereas if you had made me pay a little less, maybe I'd be willing to pay it for that early access, but not the price of a ultra DVD right now, a Blu-ray DVD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. And look, out of the three of us, did anyone watch Mulan? I didn't. No. Yeah,
I floated the idea around because Dawn's sister was here with her nephew and kids, and I'm like, what? If I can hustle her into giving $10, maybe we could all watch Mulan. And I was like, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah, man, this thing is crazy with this pandemic, man. But, in other pandemic news, to kind of segue into something else there, we got our Batman there, Robert Pattinson. Well, it's alleged right now. I'm not sure if it's truly him that has it, but the Batman production has completely halted right now because someone on the set did get the coronavirus, and it's assumed that it's Robert Pattinson. Guys, what's your thought on Robert Pattinson possibly getting the coronavirus and what this does to our movie, The Batman?
I mean, as we know, the movie isn't finished. We got the trailer of the parts that were shot and filmed. And this is potential for this to, and I hope in the best case scenario for him that, he gets over this okay, that he's well in health through the whole coronavirus. But you have the potential for him to get sick. We've heard the cases of, after effects of coronavirus and how people reacted with breathing issues and how they still have same symptoms, even after it's been gone from your body. So this may take away from the physicality of the job for him. He may not be able to execute certain action scenes because he may not have the breath to do it. He may not be strong enough immuno-wise to be able to do some of this physical action scenes of his own, or even just having scenes in general. You don't know how this is going to affect someone when you've heard that people are still sick months afterwards after having it, whether they've got it again or not, but I hope that in the best case scenario, he ends up healthy, he's in good health, and, he gets through this okay. But this could potentially change the dynamic of the movie because it hasn't been completed.
Yeah, I mean, there's that hope that he's one of these asymptomatic people who just has the virus but doesn't have the symptoms of all those things. Al, what's your thoughts on Batman there?
Just they've already, with the preview they released during Fandom and everything, they have everybody hooked. Everybody's on the hook. Like, we're watching that movie when it comes out. So don't rush it. Whether it's Pattinson or somebody else on the set, if they're pivotal to the movie, obviously it's somebody pivotal that they've delayed production because of it. Somebody that's been interacting with enough of the crew and everybody else that they had to shut down production. So take all the time that you need to get that person back at full strength, full speed, because we're going to wait. We're going to see it whenever it comes out. So don't rush it, just, and risk this person's health the health of everybody around them, just because you want this movie to come out right away. I mean, just take your time and let that person recover.
Absolutely, man.
The sales are going to be there. Whenever the movie comes out, the sales are there. You don't need to rush it.
Yes.
Yeah, kid. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to worry. You got somebody. You got everybody lining up when that movie comes out. Whether you have to delay it a month, 2 months, we're there no matter what. You don't have to worry about now nobody wants to see Batman. Now people are going to still want to see the Batman. So
yeah, absolutely, man.
Just give it whatever time it needs in order for the person to get back to the health that they were, and get a movie made right, as opposed to now you're having to change scenes, re-alter the dialogue and the script in order to accommodate, because like Brandon said, what if they can't be as physical? Now all of a sudden, you're having to change scenes, make them less graphic or less intense than you were going to, when you've already whet our appetite based on that first scene that they put in the preview. I'm expecting a Batman that's going to be kicking ass now. I can't be having him throw 2 punches and somehow he's already beat the person up. You know what I'm saying?
Winded.
Or he's always in the Batmobile because he can't chase nobody down no more. Like,
what happened to Vengeance? More like gassed. Oh man, yeah, right. Yeah, man, that was that. And last bit of news that we're going to talk about today, man, is one of the big franchises that we all love is Star Wars. Looks like they're bringing back in a young Yoda into Star Wars. Excuse me. And Yoda again into this new High Republic that they're going to be going into with books, comic books, movies, film, and little different things they keep talking about. So I was going to ask you guys, as much as, we love Yoda, I'm personally ready to see some new characters. It's always good to hint at some other things, but with the way that the whole series wrapped up in that 9-story saga of Star Wars, 1 through, the ending here of 9, I don't know. I personally kind of didn't want to hear anything about old characters. I would rather have been surprised that an old character would be in the movie, or maybe a younger version, since it's going into back in time now. We're going to go to a period with the High Republic. It would be nice to be like, oh, I recognize that alien, or those what is it called when the alien species, I guess you could say, like, oh, that's Chewbacca's people, like something like that. But for them to be like, no, Yoda is going to be in there as a younger version of himself. I was like, at first I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then as more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, it would probably be better off if they just kind of like showed him show up at some point. That would have been cooler.
Mm-hmm.
B, what's your thoughts on Yoda, or knowing that Yoda is still going to be in these like movie series here?
Not to be rude, but I feel like I just don't care. Like I agree with, like, after 9 movies, I'm kind of, I want to see something new. Like, I think with Rogue One, it showed me that the Star Wars movies don't have to be about the Jedi. It could be about other things that happen in the galaxy. It's a big galaxy,
Right,
there's other things that can happen. I understand that the point of Star Wars is really the Force and the Jedi story and Jedi path. But I from Rogue One alone, I can see there's more than that. That there could be more than that. So, like, I think I agree with you. Like, I don't mind if Yoda pops up in this movie at some point as a younger Yoda. You're like, oh shit, younger Yoda. Like, all right, like, holy, that's awesome. But I don't want him to be a focal point, and I don't want it to be a point that we're constantly coming back to. Like, I don't want to constantly see the Jedi. Not the Jedi Academy, the Jedi Council. Like, I don't want to have to constantly see the Jedi Council, him just sitting there and like, I'm just a little bit younger. Like, I want to have a new story. I want to see if they can figure out something new that doesn't have to revolve around Jedi.
Right. Absolutely, man. And I mean, the same thing. I mean, like, The Mandalorian kind of did it also, where it's set in the Star Wars universe, and it was doing great. And then they brought in Baby Yoda, and I was like, well, he's cute, so he's all right, whatever, But at the same time, it's still like, we don't need that. Like Brandon said, perfect example is Rogue One. I mean, Rogue One was fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't have anything to do with the Jedi. It had, like, the Force was in it with the blind, one of the blind guys that was in the part of the team there, Rogue One.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, I mean, I just think that, I don't know. I don't think it needs it. What about you, Al?
Yeah. Well, being a fan of the Star Wars, like the whole franchise and the stories and everything,
Yeah.
I want the stories to keep coming. But I can see where you guys are coming from, and I kind of somewhat agree. I like the Mandalorian shows. You can be the continuation of the story. You don't need the characters in it. Like we have the Mandalorians, we have all these other characters coming in, and it's showing a different story, a different aspect of that universe.
Right.
Even if I don't know if you guys played it, but the Jedi Fallen Order on Xbox and PlayStation, great game, great story. Same thing. If it's told the story of a former Padawan and him growing up after the Order 66 when he was supposed to be, all Jedi were supposed to be killed and so forth. So
Right.
it's telling the story. Like we know what that story is. We saw it in the originals, but now we're seeing how that story played out in another aspect, in another avenue with other characters. Give us
Right.
more of this. Give us more of that. I would have loved to have seen the Fallen Order story in a movie. Like
Gotcha.
that's how good that
Agreed.
story, could have been if you tell it. So do more stories like that. Do more settings like that. We don't need to keep having as much as I love the original characters and that whole story of what it could have been for the last three. Um, let it go at this point. You destroyed it already with those last three. Give it up.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's the stories that they were trying to reboot the last three, that they were getting rid of Kennedy and replacing her, and they were going to use a time room or something like that, so that it made it plausible that that they can do 7, 8, 9 again, and no, just let it go.
Let it
As much
go.
of a fan, yeah, as much as I would love to see them do the story right to end it. At this point,
Right.
you've lost Carrie Fisher. I mean, there's no way you're going to be able to retell that story now
Mhm.
because you've lost one of your major characters, the actors
Right.
that played that character. So just let it go. Move on to other stories. Like you said, there's a huge universe that they can dip into in terms of getting all these stories. Just get good directors, get good writers for a script,
Right.
and you're all set. Because you obviously got the CGI and everything down. Just get a good directors, good script, good story, and that's all you need. You don't need those characters anymore.
Absolutely, man. Completely agree with both of you guys, man. So that's what we're hoping for with Star Wars, man. So I mean, listen, like I said, it was a short week on news. So that's the news for this past week here. And then the next thing I want to ask you guys for, as far as like topics for this week, is September, and there's a couple movies coming out. There's some movies trying to come out in September, but we got a bunch coming out on Netflix. We have some stuff coming out on Disney Plus and VOD. So let's see if you guys are interested in any of these movies here. The movies for September, we got Mulan coming out this weekend. It just passed. The Broken Hearts Club is trying to make it out in theaters somehow. The Devil All the Time is on Netflix. Antebellum is coming out on video on demand. Greenland is coming out also on theaters, which is starring, oh my God, Greenland is starring the guy from Unhinged, Russell Crowe, I believe.
Oh, Roscoe.
Yeah, and then I think there's another movie called Enola Holmes, which is the sister of Sherlock Holmes with Henry Cavill playing Sherlock Holmes. So there's a
wow.
couple of things, and that's coming out on Netflix. I think that's coming out this month or next month. But either way, for those movies in September, nothing really like hugely stands out there for me.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, are you watching any of these, or you're playing video games?
I'm just waiting for the PS5 announcement to finally happen when that's releasing.
That Gotham Knights show.
Isn't Antebellum the horror movie?
Yeah, it's the horror movie with the R&B singer. I forgot her name right now, but yeah, the R&B singer is shoot. She's playing in it.
I think I saw the trailer for that one.
Monet?
Yes.
And I wanted to see it just because it was different. Like we haven't had like a horror-based thing in a
Janelle Monáe.
while. I mean, I know the House on Bly Manor from Netflix is coming out soon. That's a series, so I'm looking forward to that because the haunted house on hill. Well, the house on the hill, something like that.
Oh, that was good. That's coming out this year.
That was incredible.
Next year. Yeah.
This is coming out like this year. This is coming out in October. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that, but I'll watch Antebellum just because of the horror movie and I want to see something different.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How about you, Al, man? Are you interested in watching any of those movies this month?
Um, the Antebellum, it looked interesting based on the preview. What's her name? Looks like she's going to be doing a good job in that movie. But actually, it's funny. Until you said that Henry Cavill was in there, I had no interest in that younger sister for Sherlock Holmes. But now
Right.
knowing he's in there, I want to check it out, see what
I
that's
hear you.
about.
Yeah, that's definitely one. I think it's called Enola Holmes or something like that.
Yeah,
So I'll probably
yeah.
watch that. I'm not gonna lie, still interested in Mulan. I'm still weighing if I should pay the $30 or wait till November to see it. But yeah, Mulan is up there. But I actually am interested in seeing that movie with it's freaking Spider-Man, Tom Holland, and I can't think of the other actor that's in it, but there's two good actors in double all the time. So I think I'm going to try to give that a check out. That's coming out on Netflix this month also. So, it's just when you hear September, I'm like, Jesus, we were supposed to have like,
Forget it.
We were supposed to have a good time.
we were supposed to have that movie with the horror movie with the people who have to be quiet.
Oh,
That's a
Quiet
Quiet
Place?
Place too.
Quiet Place, yeah, man. Quiet Place 2 was supposed to come out this weekend, and we didn't get that. And oh man, I still haven't seen the New Mutants, but this is just crazy. No, no
Shit that
theaters
came
open.
out.
It's just nuts, man.
I'm hearing with that one. I'm hearing reviews all over the place.
Yeah, same here. I think there's.
I think my favorite is the reviews are. It's like it's shit, but a great way to end the X-Men universe with Fox.
Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, man. So that's that with September movies, which is terrible. It's a damn shit show, man. So The Boys season 2 came out. Yeah, no, I'll probably be watching that before I watch any of those movies. But yeah, man, that's it for the movies of September. So now, just really quick, guys, we'll go into like movies that we've seen in the last couple of weeks because we haven't brought up this topic in a while. So I'm not sure if you guys have caught up with anything or saw something that you want to recommend to everyone. I ended up seeing something called Palm Springs that Al recommended there. And I gotta tell you, man, I enjoyed Palm Springs, man. It was a pretty good movie. It's not time travel. It's more like almost like a
Groundhog's
weird
Day.
Groundhog's Day. Yeah, where the day just keeps repeating itself. And I gotta say, man, for Andy Samberg, I don't normally find that guy funny. That movie was hilarious, and it was some good scenes in there, man, and it was a really good movie. Also, who's that big time actor that was in that movie that he had a cameo role in it, and he was in Whiplash. He plays J. Jonah Jameson.
Jay Simmons. I forget his first name.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yeah.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons was in it, did a good part as well. But I have to say the standouts is Andy Samberg there, and also the female character in the movie. Man, they did a great job, man.
Oh, yeah.
So Al, I have to thank you for recommending that one because that definitely was awesome to watch.
Yeah. After that movie, I kept trying to figure out how long he was in the loop. Because I mean,
he had to be for a while because he said that he was with her a couple times.
yeah, and not only that, he was in there so long, he forgot what he did for a living before he got in there.
Oh my Lord!
So can you imagine how long you have to be going through something so that when somebody asks you what you did for a living, you don't even remember?
That's nuts, man.
So it makes it had me
nuts.
Yeah, kid. It was like, damn, how long has he relived that same day?
Yeah, man. So listen, if anybody hasn't seen Palm Springs, it's on, I believe it's Hulu. Yeah, so give it a look, give it a check there. It's a good movie, something you might want to catch for this year because there hasn't been many. So you got a good one in there. Something I also saw because I'm trying to watch Bill and Ted Face the Music. So I watched Bill and Ted 1, and I have to say it was probably a lot better in my memory, and I didn't remember most of it. It was cool to see young Keanu Reeves. But the whole premise of the movie is for them to pass their history course, like a show that they have to put on in a theater. And they were talking about like the stuff that they had to know about these characters. Well, in the entire movie, every time they met someone, all they did was kidnap them. So I don't know how they learned anything. So it was insane. It was just like, nab them. And honestly, now I know where Raphael and Michelangelo, Leonardo learned how to talk, because it was those guys. It's so ridiculous. When it comes to Bill and Ted's Great Adventure Part 1, you don't need to rush to see it, but if you are a fan of Keanu Reeves, you might want to check it out, but don't rush to see it.
Yeah.
Those are the two movies I've seen in the last couple of weeks there. Al, have you caught up on anything, or have you got a chance to watch anything?
I saw Greyhound on Apple Plus
Oh,
TV.
yes.
Yeah, with Tom Hanks. That was a good one. It's a good one. I mean, you have to be into old wartime movies to really, really enjoy it. But it's a good, Tom Hanks always puts in a good performance, so that's nothing new there. But the way they got into the specifics and they tried to be true to how things were done back then, it made you appreciate what these guys went through, during wartime back then. So that's definitely a good watch. Just like I said, it's going to be a slow, drawn-out war movie. So if you're into it, watch it. If you're not into that, don't watch it. It's going to feel like forever for you then. But another movie I watched, Strange But True. I don't know if you've seen that. You know how Netflix does that whole top 10 thing now? So it was one of the movies that were on there. So my wife and I started watching it. And it's a weird movie because it makes you think one thing is happening, and then there's a big it's a twist near the end, and it's a good movie. You definitely watch it. It doesn't have anybody like big name in there. The only big name that I recognized was Greg Kinnear. He plays the father, and then the guy that plays a retired cop. He's also been in a lot of movies, but I draw a blank on his name now.
Right.
But, that's definitely, it's a good one to watch. If you got some time, definitely watch it. I mean, don't rush to watch it, but if you got some time and you're on Netflix, check it out. Strange But True.
Strange But True. All right. And Brandon, how about yourself, man? In the last couple of weeks there, you caught anything or you watched anything that was worth your time?
I watched Ip Man 4.
Ip Man, okay.
Which I think is the last Ip Man. So, because it's been going on for like almost a decade now of those movies. And it was okay. I think it was a good end. It did a lot of introduction to Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee was one of his students, It was a good introduction to what martial arts was like in California in that time. Especially if you're someone who's into like the Karate Kid, or have seen Cobra Kai. It makes a lot of sense if you watch Ip Man 4, how karate kind of formed in the valley and things like that. So it was a good movie. I would say, it didn't have as much action as previous Ip Man movies, but the story was nice. Like you kind of got to see an older Ip Man as he struggled having a relationship with his son after the death of his wife. He came to America to find a school for his son. If in the case he passed away in that time, kind of a thing, because he found out he had cancer. So it was interesting. It was a good story, and then the action when it was there was really, really good. I expect nothing less from those Ip Man movies. They were always incredible with the action, cinematography, and everything like that. So I would definitely suggest go see it. Watch it on Netflix. It's a cool watch, and it's a good story.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. I've seen the first two Ip Mans, and those are pretty interesting. I never saw the third or the fourth one, but I didn't know he was gonna be alive that long. So, so Ip Man 4. All right, awesome, man. All right, man. So listen, that was it. Those are the movies that we recommend for you guys and that we've seen in the last couple of weeks there. And then the last thing we're going to talk about today is we were supposed to do the podcast last night. We're doing it actually today, Monday on Labor Day, and we were going to do a segment called My Buddy. And the reason we were going to do it is because our boy Sanj there, he was going to be with a friend of his in Boston and do the podcast together. But I kind of fudged that all up yesterday. So apologize to Nick and Sanj there for not being able to do the podcast last night. But we'll still talk about the My Buddy movies there because I'm always interested in knowing what these guys like. Because as far as many movies we've seen together, there's still things I don't know about them, even my own brother over there, that what they actually like and love. So when we talk about My Buddy, I'm talking about movies that feature either a friend and a best friend, or a group of friends together going through something, a movie, whether it's horror, comedy, serious or not. Just wanted to see what you guys were thinking of when you think of My Buddy movies. I'll start you off with one of my favorite My Buddy movies, which is Goonies. Goonies is a classic from the 80s. Oh, man. Treasure hunting, finding maps, figuring things out, figuring out the clues. I'm all about that stuff. That's why I like Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade so much. I think that if you ever want to see a movie about a bunch of friends working together and figuring things out and laughing your ass off because it's a good time as well, even though it's old, man, Goonies is it, man. So Goonies is one of my favorite like buddy movies or friends movies. Brandon, how about you, man? What's another one of your friendly or bud movies there?
Oh, a great adventure of loss, pain, and just seeking to know. And this is The Lord of the Rings.
Frodo!
Mr. Frodo! Sam! Mr. Frodo! The whole movie. It's great. Buddy movie. No, but for real, I think my favorite buddy movie, and I think this is actually one of my favorite pairs of like comedy right now. And I mean that not right now, but they've done like maybe 3 movies now together. Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. Like those two, man, they've made 3 hilarious movies. Number one, The Other Guys. Like that movie was hilarious, and I even put it on the other day, and I still die watching that movie. And then for them to do Daddy's Home and Daddy's Home 2, ridiculous. Those awesome. Two are such a good pair.
Right? And you never think it, man.
Never think it.
Oh, man.
Say hello to your mother for me.
Say hello to your mother for me. Oh, by the way, with Frodo and Sam by the 3rd movie, I was like, just kiss already, you two. Honestly. just get it over with.
There's so many scenes.
Sam. Frodo.
Just throw the ring, Mr. Frodo. Just throw the ring.
Oh, God. They were so bad. Al, man, how about you, man? When you think of buddy movies or friend movies there, what's one of the best ones for you or a couple there for you?
I don't know if you could call it a buddy movie, but it was Beverly Hills Cop, because it's him with the other 2 cops from Beverly Hills, and then they became all good friends by the end. So that always cracks me up as one of those, but definitely would have to be Superbad.
Superbad, all right.
Superbad. I mean, that was one of the few movies, again, that when it came out on Blu-ray, I went and made sure I bought it. Yeah. That movie had me cracking up. It had so many funny scenes. I mean, him going to the house party, the girl rubbing up on his leg, and she had a period. Oh man, just so many just stupid stuff like that you can't help but laugh. Yeah, hilarious, man.
Well, you guys just reminded me of one of my favorite buddy movies that made me hysterically laugh. Is 21 Jump Street and 22.
Yes.
Oh my good. That dude. When Jonah Hill's pretending to be Mexican, and then he talks and he looks at Channing Tatum, and for Channing Tatum to say something, he's like, "Dude, I don't speak Spanish." He's like, he go, "Come on, órale, let's do something." He goes, "What's your name?"
My name is Jeff.
Stop. Oh my God. But the 2 of them honestly together, I never thought that movie was gonna work. And that movie is one of my favorites. One of my wife's favorite movies is 21 Jump Street. Those 2 movies are incredible. Those are definitely a buddy movies for me. Brandon, you got any other buddy movies or friend movies that you recommend?
I have one more, and I definitely recommend it.
All right.
First Saw, just 2 good friends hanging out in one room, cutting off their limbs together, trying to find that one key.
That movie was nuts, man. Al, you got any more for us? Any buddy movies for people to watch?
Rush Hour.
Oh, Jackie
Yes.
Chan and
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Tucker. Oh my God.
Oh, kid. And then
Which
I'm
one of y'all
surprised.
kicked me?
Which one of y'all kicked me?
Okay. And then the one I thought you were gonna say, not 48 hours. Step Brothers.
Oh, that's right. Step Brothers, another hilarious one, man.
Kid.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, dude! One of the funniest things you just remind. I don't know. The minute you said Rush Hour, I thought about it. And they're at the club that's playing where people doing karaoke, and some girl starts singing a Michael Jackson song, and he starts booing them. Oh, and then he gets up. All right, so listen, I got another buddy movie that I actually love, and actually one of Al's favorite movies for 2020, Bad Boys. Mike Lowry. Yes. Yeah, those are two fun guys to watch together. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, man, they play a great friendship throughout the entire series, from the first, the second, and even more so in the third. You can see that relationship between the two guys, and their banter between each other is just insane. But just to throw another Friends movie that's a horror movie, It Chapter 1. It Chapter 2 wasn't so.
Yeah.
It Chapter 1, man, that's a good friend movie, even though it's freaking scary. I told Brandon that It Chapter 1 was like Goonies, and then at the end of the movie, he looked at me and he's like, "That's not Goonies. That's not Goonies." Oh my God. Yeah, man. But listen, man, those are the movies and the topics we're going to discuss today, man. We thank you guys for always listening. You guys can always find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And this is our weekly podcast where we talk movies with friends. And, we hope that you join along with us. Send us your comments. Email us at therealfanreview@gmail.com. Or if you're watching on YouTube, put a comment below. Let us know if there's anything you want to talk about. Or if there's a buddy movie you like, let us know what buddy movie that is. Guys, we thank you for joining us every week. And again, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. So calling out for the rest of this day, Brandon.
Dovidenja.
Wow. Okay. Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, myself, Hob, man. We thank you guys as always, and we'll catch you on the next one. Until next time.